Hello, everyone. It's Taylor. Today, obviously, you can read the title. We are going to be talking about why you fell short of your September goal and what to do if you're ready for a massive up level. This is what I'm hearing from people already today through the weekend. And so that's what I really want to talk about. So before we jump in, we'll give live viewers a second to pop on. If you're on the replay, say, hey, I want you to engage too. I love hearing from you guys. But I'm also going to share this into my Facebook group. Okay. Hi, Mackie. Yes, this is my new office. I'm loving it. Still kind of getting it put together and stuff, but loving it nonetheless. Okay, let me share this really quick and then I'll actually be able to talk to you guys. Okay. Post. Okay, we're shared. That bookshelf, you always have to point the opposite way. That bookshelf, I built that last night all on my own. I'm really proud of myself. And I put it together. In my old office, you guys couldn't see because I was facing towards them. Where we were living, there was like, not built in, but somebody had already put bookshelves in and they were like screwed to the wall, so I would use those. And they were like two really big, taller than me bookshelves. And I have kind of downgraded to just a small one, but I think it's cuter anyway. Before I had like all this stuff like spaced out. And then over here, where you can't see, I'm going to get like a little cart and put a printer on it. I don't really need a printer, but I have one. And then like some little like cute file boxes I have, so I think it'll be cute. Let's see, I'll turn a little bit. You can see the rest of my junk there. Nothing really to see. Okay, anyway, I want to hop into this and get straight to the point because this is going to be really, really good. So the title of this live stream is Why You Fell Short of Your September Goal, and my necklace keeps kind of spinning, so I'm going to be a little distracted by that. And what to do if you're ready to massively up level, okay? So whoever's here, I'm sure you read this title and you fell a little bit short, if not a lot short, of your goal for September, and you're really ready. You feel the up level coming. You have these huge goals, these really amazing, fun ideas that you're like, all right, let's actually make it happen. Let's get some results. So that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So here's the thing. This is where we have to start. You didn't not hit your goal because you weren't capable, because you weren't worthy, because it wasn't meant to be. That's a big one that I hear that drives me nuts is like, oh, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be right now. I guess like, you know, it's meant to be this month or it was meant to be a different number. That's not why. That's never why. That's not the case. It could be that it wasn't meant to be because it wasn't what you really wanted, which we'll talk about. But the truth is, if there's a goal that you really, really want to hit, you can become a match for it. You can become worthy of it. You can make it what's supposed to be your reality. So you get to decide what you get. You get to decide the goal that you set, and you get to decide the amount of money and the amount of clients you bring in. That's all up to you. And we're going to talk more about it because this goes a little bit deeper. So the only reason that it didn't happen is because you created a goal and it wasn't really what you wanted. It wasn't really what you wanted to be doing. And bear with me here because there's a lot of places that this could fit in. It could be that you didn't actually want that many clients. It could be that you actually didn't want to do that program, or even a tiny, tiny piece of that program wasn't what you wanted to do. It could be the strategies you used really weren't what you want to be doing. The price you were charging really wasn't what you wanted to be doing. It could be any of that. It could be so many things. Or it could just be the goal. You set a goal that was too small or too big that like you really didn't even want. So I've been on both ends of that where I've set a low goal. Like, you know, when I was first saying I really wanted a 10K month, I really wanted more than that. So I never hit a 10K month. I struggled to hit 5 figures for a long time. And then I boosted right past it, right? So because that was too small for me, it wasn't really what I wanted. And so that amount of work and the amount of money, it didn't line up. It wasn't what I wanted. So I just didn't really do anything. I didn't do enough. We'll talk about this more. So it didn't happen. I've been on the other side where I've set big goals of like 60K month, or, you know, that was a number that had a lot of resistance around it. And the reason why was because I didn't really need $60,000 and I didn't really want $60,000. I wanted that level of success. I wanted the next level. I just wanted to say I could do it. I wanted to prove myself. I didn't really want the $60,000, right? So reflect on that for a second. Reflect on last month. If any of this is speaking to you, this sounds really simple. It's actually not. Well, it can be, but it's funny because it sounds really simple and basic, and a lot of us get onto live streams like this hoping for a strategy, hoping for a way to set our goals better, but this is really the answer. This is what it is. This is what's going on. So if any of this is resonating with you, and if any of this is making sense to you, and it's something that happened last month, do not do that again this month. So it's October 2nd. We're fresh start, fresh month. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to go deeper, but really, if you leave this live stream right now, if all you get from this live stream is what you've heard so far, do what you want to do. It's always that. It's always, the reason you don't hit your goal is always because something isn't aligned. Something isn't truly what you want to be doing, right? So here's what I mean. Here is what some of my new clients that I'm starting to work with, or some people that I've had sales conversations with that I've been talking to, some of you guys in the comments of my live streams recently, have been doing and have been saying you're doing. It's doing things that you don't want to do, like way over delivering to your clients. It could even be over delivering to your family out of obligation. It's doing anything out of obligation. It's doing what your coach wants you to do out of obligation. Anything that's coming from obligation is kind of screwing you over from your goals. It's things like hiding and not saying what you really want to say because your family might think something, or because a coach might think you, there's so much fear going on around, this coach might think that I stole that from her, or, somebody might not think I'm really as good as I say I am, or whatever, right? It could be that you're hiding what you really want to say because of what people are going to think. It could be selling something at a lower price point, and in your head it makes sense because you're like, well, I'll start here and I'll work my way up. During the next launch, I'll increase the price, right? But hey, Danielle. Hey, Melissa. Yay. Okay, Danielle, glad that you're loving this. So I did this for so long, and it's so silly, and a lot of us do it. You don't have to work your way up. Sometimes it is in benefit. Sometimes it is what is aligned to what you're supposed to be doing, but a lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times the answer is, and challenge yourself to think about this really quick and feel if a ton of fear comes up, because if a ton of fear comes up, it's what you're supposed to be doing. So it's charging what you want to charge a year from now, right now, today. Changing it on your site, charging it right now, whether that's for one-on-one, your group program, whatever. Charge what you want to charge a year from now, right now. I'm going to close my office door because my dogs are being cray-cray. And we'll see if they start scratching and begging to join us. But for now, we're going to close it. So it's doing that, right? Scary and exciting. Mackie, I'm glad that you're thinking about this. It's using strategies that feel really hard and tiring, right? I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. They're feeling burnt out. They're feeling like if they want to keep up-leveling, they have to work more. That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I am missing your furry blanket cover for your chair. I know, it's downstairs. I've got to bring it up. I know. This is the same chair, guys. This is the white fuzzy chair, but it's just an ugly Walmart leather, probably fake leather chair. So it's that stuff. Yeah, look, he's already going to start scratching on the door. It's that kind of stuff, right? All of us have probably done this. If you're watching this, I can guarantee that you did something like this last month that you didn't want to do. And it's why you didn't hit your goal. And these things are very easy to change because all they really take is a decision. Maybe a conversation, but mostly just a decision. So it's easy, but it's hard. Why is it hard? Because it's scary. It's scary to stop doing these because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to raise your price when nobody's bought the old price, right? It doesn't make sense to quit trying to do the fucking webinar when, Facebook groups aren't really working well for you. It doesn't make sense to, post your message when you've already gotten shit for saying your real message and people are already hating on you for it and whatever, right? Such a great idea. I just want to give and live what I do and give so much value, so I do need to get in the mindset of charging even more. Oh my gosh, exactly. And it's not even exactly, Melissa, and this is for everybody to hear. A lot of this is getting in the mindset, but it's really just deciding to do it. And a lot of the stuff that we claim to be mindset work is unfortunately avoidance, and it's pushing it off. It's, I need to work through my limiting beliefs around this, and then I'll charge that price. Or I need to work through some of my fears or some of the stuff that's going on in my head. I need to get clear on this before I can actually do the strategies I want to do. It's all putting it off. It's like, it's a lot of avoidance. I journal almost every day. I love mindset work, but you have to check in on, I've had so many moments where I've been journaling and doing fears and crying on the phone to my coach, and I'm like, fuck this. This is really just a decision. What am I doing? I'm putting so much emotion and worry and fear. Not to open the door. Around this, we'll bring the puppy in only. Come here. But we're putting all that fear and energy around it when it's just making the decision. Mindset work is never going to send someone down like from, this is how I like to picture it. You're never going to get like an angel or something sent down from the heavens going, yes, it's time for you to charge more. Good job doing this work. You're ready. It's just like the mindset work is just getting you to make the decision. Like that's what it always, always, always leads to. Alex, I had a horrible launch last month, and it's making me want to avoid another one for the future or come up with another program or product. Exactly. So it's like, for you, it's like seeing what is the real fear. Like if you do another launch and it fails, like what really happens, you know? Because for a lot of us, it's fear of being judged by somebody. I know for me, like I had a fear that I had to get over. It was so blocking me from like, I was even like struggling to keep up a certain income that I had been hitting really consistently. It started becoming harder, not easier. And I blamed it on strategy, and I blamed it on the industry, and I blamed it on all that. But really, as soon as I shifted the fear of failing and having someone like my parents being like, I told you so, or like, calling me like, young and dumb or something like that, right? That was the fear that was going on. It's so silly. It's so crazy because I had never really failed before. Like, I think I'm doing pretty awesome, but I was just afraid of like that coming up from people. And then as soon as I really realized how silly that was, it became even easier to hit the consistent income I was already hitting. And then I started all of a sudden making more than that when it had been that struggle to get above that number for so long. Sarah, I love this. I had to do a talk today and I'm fighting imposter syndrome. Oh, yes, that's a big one too. And what I just worked on with a client today is like, you have to get really, really clear on what it is that you do, what it is that you're really, really great at. And you just have to realize that when you're using your gifts, your skills, your talents, what you were always meant to be doing, there's no competition anymore. There's not. There's no one to even compare yourself to. So if there's no competition, there's no one to compare yourself to, then there's no way that you're a fraud. Like, because there's nobody like in comparison. And that's true. And if that is really, really hard to get to, but you can get there. I think it's harder to do for yourself too, because you're like, well, a lot of people are good at this, but it's looking at that a little bit differently. So here's how it works with my clients, right? And then we're going to go even deeper into a little bit of what you can do today. But I think it's just easier because I've been doing so many calls and working on this stuff with people. It's just easy to show you what that looks like. So when they tell me what their goal is, right? And this is where the intuition comes into my package in my program, which is obviously a huge piece because that's what makes like things work more than proven systems and strategies. Like, here's the thing. If the proven systems and strategies worked for everybody the exact same way, none of you would be watching this live stream because none of you would have fell short of your goal last month. So there's a little missing piece when that's all that we look at. So for me, I can tell if you're bullshitting me or not. And when I say bullshitting me, I mean, I can just tell if you're ready for the income goal that you've said that you want. So sometimes my client will come to me and be like, oh, I want to have a 10K month. And I can feel like that's a hell yes, that's happening. And it always does. But sometimes my client might come to me and say, I want to have a 10K month. And then it's like, no, you're not going to. And that sounds scary and negative, but here's the thing. It's not, going back to the beginning, it's not that you're not meant for it. It's not that you're not worthy of it. It's not that you can become a match for it and get behind it. It means there's still work to do to get to that point. And actually, how it works with my clients is if they tell me their goal and it's a hell yes, it's going to happen, I push them to set a bigger goal. Because if they don't set a bigger goal, there's no more work to do, right? And even if they do hit that goal, they're still going to feel like they fell short, because anybody who, I think, if you're here, I don't know if this is all entrepreneurs, but I feel like it is. Entrepreneurs are always up-leveling their mindset. They're always into personal development and doing better and improving themselves. So like if you're not doing that, you're probably not going to feel successful whether you hit your goal or not, right? So anyway, and if they're not ready for the goal, it's like we have to work through some of this stuff. So if I'm like, no, they're not at that, you know, level of $20,000 a month, it's not my job to say, that's unfortunately that's not going to happen. Like, you're not a match for that. It's okay. Here's the thing. We have to work through some of these. We have to get these ducks in a row, right? We have to work on these things so that you can become a match for that, so it can actually happen for you. So here's what that looks like. It looks like these are the areas that we look at. These are just actually some. If I think of some others as I read off a little bit of my notes, I'll let you know. But it's, are they being 100% them in all situations? So you have to think about if you're doing that. Are you ashamed that you're a coach? Are you hiding it from your family? Are you afraid that if your friends or your boyfriend or your family, if they heard the kind of stuff you talk to your clients about or that you taught, they would think you were like crazy and needed to go like back to La La Land, right? Or are you hiding your message in Facebook groups or even in your group or on your email list or wherever you're putting your content out, right? Are you hiding what you really want to say because people might think that you stole it from somebody or you copied it or it's not original or it's not good enough or blah, 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 right? That's one area that we're looking at, because you have to become one. You have to be like one. This is literally what I went through, and all my clients have pretty much heard this story so far. But there was two Taylors happening. There was Taylor on Facebook, and then there was Taylor in Connecticut. You know, who was Taylor in Connecticut was shy and embarrassed of what she did and didn't really feel good enough and actually hid how much money she made and like still bought things that weren't really what she wanted just so people didn't think she was, you know, spending too much or making more than she deserved or, you know, wasting money or whatever, right? Whereas Taylor online was super confident and bold and badass and making really great money and getting huge results with her clients. There was two Taylors for a long time, and now there's one, and it was really scary and whatever, but you just have to decide to be one Taylor, one Sarah, one Melissa, one Danielle. The other thing that we look at is, do they have unwavering, can I set you down? Do they have unwavering decision and focus? So today what you have to do is, I don't care if you take the day off. I don't care if you take the week off, but you have to give yourself enough time to 100% decide what it is that you want. Lock it in and focus on that every day for the rest of the month. Where so many of us are going wrong is we're setting a goal and then we're not giving ourselves enough time to set the goal. So if you're like, I'm gonna have 20K this month because it's out of thin air and it's what other people are doing and whatever, then eventually a week later or a couple weeks later, what's gonna happen? Most of us have been here. We're gonna realize, oh, that's not really what I wanted. That I didn't really want 20K. That wasn't aligned. The only reason that's ever going to happen is if you're not giving yourself enough time, space, and permission to create the real goal that you want, right? Danielle and I have been talking a lot about this. I did this for so long where it was like I would have 10 different goals that month because I was like, oh, I'm going to have 10K. Oh, my biz bestie just hit 15, so I'm going to do 20. Oh, my coach said that's a little unrealistic, so I'm going to go back down to 15. Oh, now I'm falling behind, so I'm going to go back to 10. Oh my gosh, now I just signed this big client out of the blue, so I'm going to go back up to 25. You have to lock in what you want. It doesn't matter if you're behind, if you're ahead, if, you know, so-and-so is doing better or worse. It doesn't matter what your coach thinks. All that matters is that you decide what you really, really want. You give yourself full permission, and then you just do it, right? And you stay focused on that every single day. So if you don't feel like that and you're not sure if what you've set as your goal is really what you want, take the day off, take the week off, however long you need to do, depending on how blocked you are around this. You need to get to that number. And yes, we're talking financial right now. You need to get to that number that you can put your focus on every single day, and you're going to lock it in. You're going to be focused on every day, and you're not going to have 10 goals this month. Of course, you didn't hit your goal if you had freaking 10 or 20 of them. Because if you had 10 goals, you really didn't even have one, right? The goal isn't real until it's actually what you want. And it's so crazy how what we want is so hard to come to, right? Mackie, locking it in right now. Yeah. I don't know if that was like a virtual like side high five. It's so crazy how hard it is to know what we really want. I struggled with it for so long. What I really wanted was to be successful and to be seen as successful and to be heard, and for people to like me, and for my parents to be proud of me, and, you know, to not limit myself. And so I was, instead of going inside and thinking about what number that was for this month, what would make me feel that way, I looked at everybody else and started competing with everybody and started trying to keep up, right? And we all have our own issues going on in that area. They could be totally different, but that's what's going on. You have to have one goal. And when you really lock in what you want, hey Genevieve, when you really lock in what you want, you may hit that goal in 2 weeks instead of 4 or 5, and you may increase your goal, but you have to have unwavering decision and focus until you hit it, right? And then you can change it, but you don't get close and then increase it, or fall short and then decrease it, see someone post something and change it, all of that. Let me see if I can show you guys this. He's eating my checks. Why do I have checks? I don't know, but I have them, and he's eating them. We'll just keep the camera like this so we can watch him. I have to have water now because that's so funny. So, I probably shouldn't condone this behavior, but I'm going to because it's funny. He's really, are those tasty? Are those tasty? Checks? Okay, we're moving it. So, let me find my notes again because now I'm so distracted. Okay, so the other two things, we're not going to go deep into these, but the other things we're looking at with my clients is what is actually blocking them, and not mindset blocks necessarily, but what's going on in their program, their offering that they're launching or offering right now that they don't actually want to be the case. So this is where price, what's included, the length, what type of program it is comes in. So many of us, it's the same thing. What do you even want? We're not giving ourselves enough space to think about that. So we're launching programs that you know, should be more profitable or should be easier, should sell faster, or what people want instead of what we want. And so, of course, we're not hitting our goals. Same thing with the strategies we're using, right? It's like, for me, being somebody that's worked with like hundreds of people, seen hundreds of businesses grow and a ton of them not, I know that every single strategy out there is amazing, and they work and they're useful, but they're not all useful and amazing and easy and aligned for you, right? So you have to figure out what strategies you want to be doing and then figure out how to make those work for your goal, not the other way around. But anyway, those are a little bit deeper. So I'm going to mention those like I just did. You can think if there's anything going on in the strategies you're doing, the programs you're offering that aren't quite what you want them to be. And then if you want to talk about that more, just send me a message or comment. But just ponder a little bit. So here's what I have written down in my notes. It has nothing to do with what's proven to sell better or faster or what strategies work best. It's all about what you're meant to be doing. And here's what I really want to say, just to end this and get you thinking about this. Any single time, so I feel like this is proven, right? I mean, this has always been true. And I've unfortunately seen it happen a lot because some people get so stuck on that they have to do this strategy, maybe because they've heard me mention it, they bought a course on it. I had this weird thing happen. I'm going to do a live stream on this, not later, but in the future, about when people come to me specifically, and I'm sure this happens with other coaches, but I'll get clients sometimes who are like, I know I want to work with you in our time together on Facebook ads or on webinars, or like, I know I know you're going to tell me to do groups, or I know you're going to tell me to do webinar, or they think they know, but they don't. They just heard me mention, because I believe all strategies are good, but maybe not for you. They think they know what they need, but they don't. So here's the thing that I've seen happen every single time. Any single time I've had a client or someone in a group program or a course or even a friend say that they know they need to do something. So funnel is like the easiest example, but this literally could go with Facebook groups, Instagram, ads, anything. But funnel is a really big one. I see a lot. I actually see them all a lot, but bear with me. So I've seen this with so many people. They get this idea in their head that they're going to do the funnel. They know they need to, they're going to do it. And we've probably all been here with a funnel or with any strategy. And you decide you're going to do it. You put it on your to-do list. You start realizing that it's on your to-do list for weeks and weeks and weeks. You keep writing it. You keep telling your coach you're going to get to it. And it takes you, either you never get it done, or you get it done in like, you're bad. You get it done in like weeks. So it's like, I'm going to do the funnel. I'm going to do the funnel. I'm going to do the funnel. You do get the funnel done once you force yourself to do it. So it's like 6 weeks down the road, right? And this happens all the time. And then you're like, you know what? This is pretend it's me. Taylor, you're getting this funnel done today. I don't care if you get nothing else done. This is number one priority. So you finally force yourself to do it. And then what happens? Every single time, nothing. The funnel might be done, but it never works. And I'll be honest, when I was first a coach, when I was first starting to coach, when I was even a virtual assistant, I saw clients do this. Back then, it was really big with email lists or webinars. I would be so dumbfounded because everything would be right. Like it should convert, it should work. I didn't really have much feedback. Like it seemed to be like an amazing funnel, amazing webinar, an amazing opt-in. But nobody was signing up or nobody was converting. It wasn't working. That's your sign. If anything in your business is feeling like that, and it's not, for me, my new rule after observing that with dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people, my new rule is if I can't crank it out today, then I'm not even going to think about it. And, you know, I talked to a client about this today. What was she talking about? Her freebie. I think she was talking about making a meditation. She's like, but it shouldn't take me long, right? Like it should be really, really easy, really quick. And I'm like, cool. Well, I don't think you need to do, that's not a focus right now. And she had mentioned that she'd been thinking about this for weeks or something. And I'm like, I just knew it wasn't going to be effective for her at the moment. So I said, don't worry about that right now. I said, if you wake up tomorrow morning or next week and you literally can't stop thinking about it and you are just like dying to do it, and then you do it, you're just having so much fun and it's so easy and you get it done in like 30 minutes, that's the only way that freebie is going to work. And for me, my funnels that have done the best, I did in like 2 or 3 hours tops. My sales pages that have converted the best, I've done in under an hour. My webinars that have converted the best, I've did the slides 30 minutes before the webinar. Or I created the landing page and came up with the idea like an hour before I promoted it. And maybe, oh, you're twitchy. Maybe you work a little bit slower. Maybe you're not as good as certain programs as I am or whatever, but you get what I mean. When it's aligned, when it's what you're supposed to be doing, when it's actually going to work, it feels easy and fun and inspired to do. And the title comes quickly. And people, that's when hundreds of people are going to sign up. When I grew my Facebook group by 1,000 people in 2 days, that was so bizarre. And a lot of people called it lucky. And for a while, I was like, maybe I was just lucky. Maybe I can't really teach this. But really the key was I wrote that post in like 30 seconds. I was like, this is probably not going to go anywhere. But, you know, I'm already making this spreadsheet thing for myself. So like, I'm just going to try it. It was a random idea. I kind of laughed at myself and thought it was stupid. I put the post together probably in literally under 60 seconds. And 1,000 people commented on the post. I reposted in a couple groups, right? Copy and paste. So like altogether, it probably took me 2 minutes to do. And the spreadsheet I did for myself anyway. So it wasn't even an idea I had. Like, it was just so easy. And it was fast. I've had freebies. Honestly, I have one right now, and it's so stupid. I have this one freebie I want my assistant to redo for me. And it's taken me like probably 6 months now to even just ask her to do it. Or I've asked her to do it, but I haven't given her the info yet because I don't want to write the copy for it. No one's going to sign up for it. One, because it's never going to get done because I don't do anything that takes that long. But even if I force myself to do it today, I guarantee I might have 20 people sign up. Yes, even though I have a Facebook group of 5,000, even though I have 8,000 people on my email list, I still have stuff when I force it where I feel like I can't even get 100 people to sign up for something free. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is nobody signing up for this webinar? I need like 500 people signed up like now. And it's like I'm stuck at like 50 people, which for the amount of people I have on my list and stuff is a little weird and doesn't make sense. Like I should be able to put together something crappy and get 100 people signed up. But anything I've ever forced, it doesn't work. And this is what I've seen it for myself every time, and I've seen it for clients, every single client. When my clients show up to the call and they're like, oh my God, I had this great idea and I did it right before our call. And then normally they'll go, let's say it's a ladder post for a freebie. They'll go check it in the groups as we're talking or something, you know, and they'll be like, oh my God, 200 people have commented. That's when they're getting the big results. And sometimes it might be something that we brainstorm on a call together. Sometimes it might not be, but the answer here is it's always quick and easy and fun. Always. A lot of people are going to disagree with me here because I don't know, but this is what I've found to be true. Some people will say you have to do stuff that's not fun or you've got to suck it up, and you really, I don't know. I've never seen it really work. It makes sense that you have to do that. Like, yeah, I guess business is supposed to be hard, but I've actually never seen it work that way. Cool. So that's really what I have. So what's your homework? What can you do to get yourself out of this funk to hit your October goal? This is what we've already said. Give yourself some time and space to decide what it is that you want. Figure out what's going on in your business, and we'll use the word aligned right now because it just works and makes sense. What's not aligned about it? What's not aligned about what you did last month? Do some reflecting. And I just want you to commit to being 100% you and doing everything you want to do. And if something feels like it's getting pushed and pushed and pushed, drop it. Don't even think about doing it. Don't do it until you wake up one day or you sit at your computer and you just start doing it. You didn't even plan to, and it's so easy and quick, and that's how it should feel. And I want to say this for some reason, even though I wasn't going to, but going back to that idea of like only doing things that are easy, right? This goes with outsourcing too. Yes, you can outsource the PowerPoint you don't want to make or the PDF you don't want to make or whatever, right? Or you can outsource posting in groups or whatever you want. You can outsource really anything. You can outsource sales calls, but I've even found this, it sounds so easy, right? Well, if I don't want to do it, but it's going to work, I'll outsource it. Yes, I do that with a ton of things. I outsource all the stuff I don't want to do. But there's some stuff I've been wanting to outsource, or in the past I wanted to outsource for a long time and I never got to it. And like just even trying to explain it to my assistant or trying to train my assistant on it felt so daunting that I realized it was a task I needed to drop altogether for my business. Right? Cool. So, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. So go do that as your homework. Comment. How are you guys feeling? Does this make sense? Did you enjoy this? Also, if you're watching the replay or if you guys get a chance, leave a comment too and just kind of let me know if you have any reflections from this after you get some time to let it sink in. But what I do want to say is this week I'm taking a few more calls for my 4-month program. I'll put the link in right now. And we've kind of already talked about the process for that. So here's why you can't completely do this on your own. I mean, I don't know, right? But if you're feeling really, really stuck about deciding what you want, or you have a lot of doubt about what's possible, or you know your next moves, but you're not doing them because they're so scary and you don't know if they're going to work, you don't know if they make sense, or you just kind of feel stuck and confused on your next step. So right now I'm looking for people who want to be hitting 20K cash months, which means you're probably already making at least 5 to 10K cash months, okay? You can do that in a month or two, easy, if you decide that you're gonna do it. But what I'm hearing from people who are really great fits for the program and that are signing up is that they know what they want, but they feel kind of confused on how to get there without burning out, without working more, without doing stuff they don't want to do. And, you know, what's so funny is for a long time in my business, when I was making 8K cash months or 8K sales months, I was kind of doing both. What was really interesting was I was doing all the stuff I didn't want to be doing. I was buying courses and implementing all these strategies and doing all the strategies under the sun, and I could not increase my income. And when it came to wanting a 10K month, one of my biggest blocks was not being worthy of it, first of all, not being good enough. The other coaches I saw who were making 10, 20K months seemed so much more confident and above me and better and had better results and yada, yada. So I didn't know if I was ready, but I knew I wanted it. So if you know that you want it, but you don't know you're ready, let's talk. Because if you're not ready, I'm going to tell you, because I'm not taking on clients who are not going to hit that 20K a month, who are not going to get the results. But what else was I going to say to that? Oh, the other big block that was going on was I was like, oh my God, if I'm working 12 hours a day to keep these 8K months going, and I'm doing all these strategies, maybe I'm not ready for 10K month or 12K month or whatever. Maybe, you know, I've got to perfect this first, because like I can't work anymore. I literally can't work anymore. Like the only way I could have worked more is if I would have stayed up all night. And like, if you know me, I do not sacrifice sleep for anything, ever. I don't sacrifice sleep. 9:30 p.m. bedtime, maybe 10:30 if we're getting crazy and watching a movie or something, but I don't sacrifice sleep. I will wake up early and work all day with no breaks, no eating, no nothing, at least back then. So I was afraid that I'd have to work more and harder, and I would be exhausted. And that's what I'm hearing from people. So if you know you're ready for 20K months, if you know you're ready for a massive up level, I know for most of you that's going to feel really, really scary to even admit that you want that. But this is how you can get there. And you can start today by doing the stuff that we talked about. But where I come in is calling you out on your bullshit and making you do what you actually need to do, and making sure you actually do it, right? Because like we've mentioned, it's not about working through it all the time. It's not about doing all this mindset work nonstop. Sometimes it's really as simple as just deciding and doing it. Even though it's scary, might not make sense, and you don't know how it's going to work out, I can make you do that because I know it's going to work out. So anyway, there's a lot more to it, but if this is speaking to you, book your call. But at a minimum, at least think about your goal here. Think about what's holding you back from it, or what was, and leave a comment. Let me know what you're going to work through on this. Let me know your takeaways. I really want to know. Okay? All right. Bye from me and Jax, who is going to be in a lot of trouble because all he does is eat checkbooks. Okay. Bye, guys.